Hi Stampers! Welcome back to another video showing you how to get inspiration from a card sketch. Welcome to Stamping with Diane. I'm Diane Evans and I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. So if this is your first time stopping by, I'd like to say welcome. I hope that I can give you inspiration to make cards and other paper crafting projects. Make sure that you do subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you will get notified every time that I upload a new video. Now, I did another card sketch on the weekend and we had a lot of fun with it. This is the actual card sketch that we did. And I'm using some of the new stuff, and I'm loving using this new stuff. This is a sketch challenge that I do every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, or Daylight Time actually. And I try to inspire people to make different cards using different sketches. So this is the card that we're actually going to make, this card here. And this is the new product that we're using. We're not using this, but I wanted to show you that there is a punch that goes along with this fantastic jar set. And we're also going to be using this lovely U stamp set that goes along with this lovely U pick your punch, whatever punch that you want, and it makes 6 different punches. So this is fun. But we're also learning a technique by using just watercoloring. So I hope that that inspires you and we can get going on this. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've used. This is that new beautiful Misty Moonlight cardstock, and it's cut at 5.5 by 8.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to go in and I'm going to use my bone folder and get that good increase. Now, with all of these measurements and everything else, there'll be a link to my blog. My blog, it'll be linked below with all them, and on my blog will be the measurements. This is that designer series paper, and it's called For Every Season, and it has such beautiful paper. And this blue, wow, I think I have a new love for a new color, that's for sure. So I'm just going to bring in my snail, and let's attach this to the front. Now this piece happens to be 4 by 5 1/4, and I think we'll put it on there like this. On these card sketches, I do tend to use an awful lot of different layers on there, but it gives you all the sizes of the layers. So on this one happens to be 2 inches by 5 inches, and then this is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller. And this is also from that same designer series paper pack. And that designer series paper pack has all the new colors in it. So it's got the beautiful cinnamon cider and the bumblebee and this just jade, and of course this Misty Moonlight. So let's just layer this onto there. Like I say, it's just a very, very faint border around there. I'm going to layer that onto the front of the card as well, and off to the side. Yeah, that's about where I want it. And then this is a piece of shimmer white, and the reason I'm using shimmer white is so that I can do watercoloring with it. And I was originally going to do my sentiment with Whisper White, but it's really funny. If you see the two with the shimmer white and the Whisper White, you can see that there's 2 different colors of white. So I've changed it to my sentiment to be done with the shimmery white. So before I layer and before I do any of that stuff, what I want to do is I want to stamp on. Now I'm kind of doing a no-no. I am actually I'm watercoloring, but I'm using Memento ink. I have something that, whoops, I didn't want to stamp all that. I have something about getting my brand new stamps dirty at the beginning. So I'm going to do this, and I'm not using and playing too much with the watercoloring, so it works out pretty good. So I'm just going to stamp the bottom of this jar, and it is photopolymer, so I'm going to bring in my paper piercing mat. Now, one thing, originally these paper piercing mats were going to be retiring, but I think because we spoke up quite a bit because we need it with our photopolymer stamp sets, right? So, okay, so I'm just going to stamp my jar down near the bottom. I love the punch. And they also have shaker, like they have the dome things to go with this. So it's going to be really nice. And then I'm just going to stamp my flowers on top. Now I'm going to see if that's going to interfere with these things. If not, I'm going to have to stamp on the back. No, you know, I think we're going to get away with that. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to start watercoloring that. This is just because, and it comes from, I'm using here. I think I'm going to go You're My Person. No. You know what? I'm going to do another Just Because card. And on my paper pumpkin, I happen to get one of the spots, because at this point right now, I don't have the new in colors yet, but I'm going to get, I have a spot with the Misty Moonlight, so I'm going to use the spot and we're going to stamp that. As we'll get all our stamping out of the way. So I'm going to see if I can get that stamped in the middle. Kind of difficult with the camera sitting right there. Good. Okay. So just put that off to one side. And now we're going to color this. So what I did with my Misty Moonlight was I went and I took a block and I just went and put my water or my color onto the block. And I brought in my aqua painter. Now hopefully I don't have too much water in this aqua painter. We'll give it a try. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to color some of these flowers. So, you know what? I might have too much in this aqua painter. So I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to get rid of some of the water from it. And there should be enough in there now. Really dripping water out all over the place. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's going to work. So I want to have it, I want to have just a thin layer of the coloring going over top. The thing with watercolor is that you apply light to begin with, and then you go back over with it. I say there's quite a bit of water in this aqua paint. These are also retiring, unfortunately. But they've got something else coming, so that's going to be a good thing. I'm going to give those a try. And a little bit there as well. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with a bit darker of the colors, and we're going to just go in there and give a bit more shading and some more dimension to the flowers as well. And yeah, so let's go back in there. And we can come back once this dries a little bit. But the beauty of this shimmer paper is that it doesn't get played out too much with the water being on there. You could also use the watercolor paper. But I really wanted to show off the shimmer paper. You know, and I think we'll just go a little darker in here. There we go. And then what I did was I also went and took some, I'm just going to leave that for the time being. And I went and took my mint macaron, and I've got it in there as well. So I'm just going to take the same thing here, and I'm just going to use the mint macaron for the fronds. And I just wanted it to be very subtle. I didn't want a whole pile of color on there. And let's see how that's going to work. and not like the blends. I'd use blends, but I don't have my new blend colors as well. On our pre-order as a demonstrator, you get to order certain things, and when it's the annual catalog, you don't get to order everything like you usually can with the seasonal catalog. So you don't get everything all at once, but I'm really looking forward to these new blends because they're in these colors as well. Now, I could have done part of the coloring with the blends, but it really made no sense at that point. You know, I think I'm going to go back and I'm going to do those flowers. I'm going to do them. My first thought was I was going to leave them white, but I think they need to have a bit more color in there. Now, and also with watercoloring, there's a lot more imperfections with watercoloring. So it's quite forgiving. And I just wipe off the colors with that. Okay. And then I went in and I also used Pool Party for the jar colors. To get that ink on your lid of your stamp pad, you could use a re-inker, but just press on the back and then it'll put some color up onto the top of the ink pad. So we want this quite faint, so we're just going to add that. And then I'm just going to go along here where the colors are already. And I think I'm going to go in with a bit of the blue as well. And just give a bit of a thing there. Now, another thing that I did do, oh, look, I've got a bunch of water on there. Ooh. Okay, another thing that I did do was I went and I took this blue, and I got it quite wet. I just got it on my block here. And I just did a splatter. It's not a big splatter because I don't really have enough water in here because I took it all out. But you'll see this in just a second. And I also went and I splattered on my sentiment as well. And it's very subtle on this particular one. Okay. Okay. All right. Then what I did, just close all this stuff up. And I thought it needed just a bit more stuff. So what I did was I brought in my Inkastella pen, and I'm actually going to color on the blue flowers. So just to bring in and to bring out the sparkle kind of on the blue flowers. I didn't color everything, just the flowers. Like I say, with watercoloring, if you go for perfection, you're really not going to get it. And the reason you're not going to get it is because the water flows, right? And two cards are never going to be the same. So I think I've got that like that. Okay, then let's put this on, layer this onto this part of the card. Now, it's a little damp, so I think I'm actually going to use some glue to put that on. Now, we could use glue or we could use our tear and tape. I'm going to put some glue and attach the glue on there. We want to make sure that it's not going to ooze out, and I think I put it far enough away that it's not, but this will give me some wiggle room too, right? There we go. Now, another thing that I went and I did was I used my dark Night of Navy blend, and I went and I colored some pearls with that. It matched really nice with this Midnight Muse. Now, the one thing when you're coloring your pearls or your gems, especially the pearls, don't color too much on there because you'll take the sheer off of the pearls. And on here, you can see this particular pearl here. I think you can see it, where the shiny part's been taken off. So I'm just going to put that like that. So we've got that to go on. But then I told you that we were going to use this particular punch. And let's use this one. This one's got a squared off top. So this is 3/4 of an inch that I've cut it. I push it right to the back there. And then I make sure that that's good and in the center there. So there, and we're just going to punch that. And then I'm going to bring in, I don't know if that's short enough. I think I might have to trim that off again. So let me just trim that. Trim it there, and we're going to trim this about there. That should work. So let's put that back in there. And like I say, I always go to the back and double check to make sure it's in the middle. In between these two spots there. Bring that one out. If you don't, because it's quite short, it wiggles around, and that's why you'll see how that goes in the back there. So you just want to make sure that you go here and make sure that it's right. Bring this down a bit there. It's a short piece of paper. That's why I'm having a few little issues here, because normally it's quite simple. But I want that right in the middle of the thing there. It's moving around here, so let me just bring this back out. Put it in on that 3/4, slide it all the way up. And see, I can't hold it. That's where my issue is on this side. So now I'm going to just bring that down just a tad. And it's being very helpful with me, that's for sure. There we go. It's coming. Okay. Probably shouldn't have cut it so short there. It really isn't that difficult, trust me. But I'm just being picky, I guess. I'm going to cut it right about there. Let's bring that piece out. See how it's a lot shorter on that one side, but that's fine. I can fix that because I'm going to put a pearl on this side, so it'll off-center it. So I'm going to stick those up with dimensionals. Well, actually, I'm going to put this on with dimensionals as well on there. So let's bring in those dimensionals again. And put one in the middle because we don't want that dipping down. There we go. I'll put that one right in there. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on here as well. And you kind of notice that I'm kind of putting it, I could have used 3 on here, but I kind of put them a little off-centered so that I only had to use the 2. And then this is just going to go here. And then I'll bring in those pearls. Let's put one up about here. See, it goes so pretty with that paper. Put another one, about there. And then I'm going to put a pearl down right about here. Then I thought, oh, it still needs a little bit of stuff. So we still have, and it's been carried over into the new catalog. This is fantastic crinkled seam binding. So I'll just tie a bow. Now, if I had my Stampin' Blends, I would have colored this Misty Blue or Misty Moonlight. I would have colored the ribbon with my blends, but I don't, and the white doesn't look too bad actually, so let's just bring that down. Just tie it like that. And we'll trim that off. So staticky, this ribbon, but it's a wonderful ribbon to tie. It's fantastic ribbon to color, and it just sort of adds a little bit, right? So I'll bring in those glue dots again, and there we go there. Just gonna squish it and put it on the back of this bow here. And put it right down here. It's so staticky, this stuff. There we go. Yeah. So there's our card using the brand new colors. It's using the Flowers for All Seasons, and it's using the new punch, and it went along with the sketch. So see how the sketch is? Just like that. So from something this flat to something like this, it works out quite well. Now, if you like that, I'd really appreciate you giving me the thumbs up or give me a heart. Leave a comment, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask those questions in the comments. I usually always get back to them. Better yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel. There is a spot down below on my YouTube that you can get notified every time I upload a new video. And also, if you do live in Canada and you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. I do offer online, I give bonuses every month. I have tutorials. This month is a tutorial. I believe there's 15 different projects on it. And next month there's another exciting one that we've got all ready to go. But use this hostess code and have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.